Hello, friends, and welcome to the mothership. I'm your commander, General Lak Sivrak. I'm also General Lak Sivrak right here and right here. But this behind me here is me as a commander at Hoth. And then this is me as a Hoth commander when I'm not flying. But this video is not about just me. This video is about the Toklat Mercenary Group. Yes, the assimilation of the galaxy's most feared, badass, cutthroat, sometimes honorable, sometimes dishonorable motherfuckers in the galaxy. In no particular order of rank, race, creed, or species, we have this Ithorian Hammerhead, who is a fucking sniper. That's his fucking game, as you can tell by his big fucking gun. All of the members of the Toklat Mercenary Group are equipped with a grade A survival suit. And they are equipped and customized for different species. So there's our Ithorian sniper. Next to our Ithorian sniper is our intellectual techs and communication supervisor and officer, this Mon Calamari dude. Definitely like our Dr. Spock, if you would. But still a fairly ruthless, cutthroat, if you're going to shoot, shoot, don't talk kind of a person. Next to him is one of our few members who have identification handle. This is Jegs Katana, the cyborg Wookiee, who only has a vow of death to one Trandoshan, and that's Bosk. And Bosk is the one who took his leg right there. But Bosk, as far as we know, is not the person who took his eye or his hand. Now, whether or not those were done in the same time, we're not sure. But that is Jegs Katana. He is quite a powerful and angry Wookiee, but still loyal to the cause, and a very loyal person. That's what really makes you... here we have different races and creeds, but we all get together, because we don't live under the superficial bullshit that the Society of the Galaxy says. And of course, I'm Lak Sivrak. And pertaining to that, as you see, we have a Trandoshan on our team. And I don't have to separate this Trandoshan and this Wookiee. These guys get along just fine because they are on a higher plane of existence. This is a bad motherfucker, though, this Trandoshan. We don't know much about him, but he came to us, and he's pretty badass. Now, this guy, the only thing we know about this guy is that we assume that he's very old, as he carries a lot of separatist-marked, idealistic things into battle, like his separatist logo shield, and his separatist antique blaster. This guy was reported to have worked with Saw Gerrera during the rebellion against the Empire. He can be notably seen at the Battle of Jeddah in the documentary Rogue One. But fairly little is known about that character. Next to him is one of our Anguilesh mercenary. Now these guys, all I'm showing you up until this point, okay, these are all... Well, let me finish telling you about this Anguilesh guy. This Anguilesh guy, we're not exactly sure, but we're pretty sure this Anguilesh dude is gay lovers with this Trandoshan. We have a strict don't ask, don't tell policy around here, but... we just don't ask. We don't ask, and we don't want to see it. But now look. There's a couple other people in the army. If they wanted to invite us, we might go. But this Anguilesh and this Trandoshan, look, we wish y'all happy love. So anyway, this is the Anguilesh mercenary. I kind of forget what he does. This I think this guy does a lot of our technical stuff, maybe except something. Comms? I don't know. We haven't figured out what all these guys do yet, you know. But anyway, so this is all these guys in these survival suits. All these guys. This is, of course, Lak Sivrak, the commander of the Toklat Mercenary Group and owner and proprietor of the Toklat Outpost, which is why we need a fucking small army of dudes to protect us. These are all combat guys, okay, in our Toklat Mercenary Group. Now, once we get past our English light tracker communications expert, we go to our doctor. This is our doctor here. We don't know his names yet, but we'll just call him Bones. Now, of course, that's a Duros body with a different boots and Greedo head and hand. And then that Build-A-Droid figure arm. So that's our regimental doctor. And then to his right, our camera left, this starts the small squad of maintenance maintenance engineers. This is our maintenance engineer Commander fucking Weequay. We don't know his name. And then underneath him right now we have two maintenance engineers. This, whatever species Zuckus is called, and another English. Oddly enough, Englishes are the only multiple species that we employ at this moment in the Toklat Mercenary Group. We have some guys that work in the warehouse and different shit that are different species, but this group is really the cream of the crop. This is the crew of the mothership. You know, you got to have a doctor, you got to have maintenance guys, you got to have a bunch of badass fuckers that do their jobs, whether it's security or communications or logistics or making sure there's enough fucking bread and eggs. Somebody's got to gather fucking firewood. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's got to figure out where the fucking pussy is. So all, you know, and get at least one that's good enough to share. Because I worked at some places like that, or get enough for one for everybody. Because if you don't, there'll be a fucking fight on your hands, and you can't have a crack fucking team that's at each other's throats. Mentioning that, I do want to say that whole Andor. I'll give you my review. My review of Andor from 1 to 3 is up. It got so tiring that I almost gave up on it. But don't get all cunty because I don't like the same shit you like, people. But I went back to watching it. I'll have another review up for 1, 2, 3, what is that? 4, 5, and 6. And then 7, 8, 9. But the one thing I have to say is, all in all, my biggest complaint about any Disney shit, I know it's fantasy, and I know it's supposed to be space, but the parts that are supposed to be realistic, like possibly combat or tactics in combat or you know, survival, right? Like Andor as a child, all those kids living in the wilderness, like, you know, quote unquote indigenous peoples with all their shopping carts that has water dripping into it or something. I'm just saying, fucking tighten up, dude. The shit that's supposed to be realistic, make it fucking realistic. Because it's not. It is not. Try a little harder. And the Andor team, who keeps getting all fucking pissy, which we're past all this now, but right. Oh, you bring in, like, they're all pissy because Andor comes in at the last minute. Like, just like Luthen, just like he said, it's not much of a team. And, like, they prove that over and over and over, like. But that's fine. Luthen just used these idealistic fucking losers, right? People don't realize that. Like, Luthen used these idealistic dumbasses to get what he needed. Now, we still don't know who Luthen is, I guess. A new episode dropped today. It is Wednesday. But I'm just rambling and showing you these customs. But I'm going to end it here. We're at 10 minutes. I'm just waffling. I did want to get... nobody has seen all of these guys together at once yet. You know, except maybe the few people I talk to about my customs in private chats. So, General Lak Sivrak of the Toklat Mercenary Group, Jegs Katana, our Mon Calamari intellectual Dr. Spock officer, though not a medical doctor, our Ithorian sniper, our Transdoshan, we're not sure what his job is, our weird mystic possibly robot. We don't know what this guy is, but we're glad he's on our team. Our kind of low man on the totem pole, the guy that fetches the water, English guy here. Our doctor, who is missing an arm for whatever reason, we don't ask. And then our engineering team here, maintenance engineers. So thank you for looking at our Toklat Mercenary Group. If you need any dirty deeds done dirt cheap, please give us a holler. We have no problem. So I'm going to pan out just a little bit to give you the entire war machine of the Toklat Mercenary Group. And of course, shout out to the doctor and the maintenance engineers and the cooks and all those cocksuckers too. But here's the guys that get the shit done. The crew of the mothership. Toklat Mercenary Group. This is General Lak Sivrak, the commander, saying thank you for joining us today in transmission.